Hi, how are y'all? Sound check, sound check. If you can hear me, you know the drill. If you don't mind, I'm still paranoid about it. It's actually loud on my end. How is everybody? Man, the comment section's already kind of hopping today. It's almost like the powers that be have struck a nerve, like they tend to usually do, at a time when America couldn't be more divided if it tried. Good old SCOTUS, the Supreme. For those wondering what SCOTUS is, people are asking me that. SCOTUS is an acronym for Supreme Court of the United States. It's kind of like POTUS, except SCOTUS. Jason Beckham, hi. AHD, hi. Eric Kramer, hi. How are you? Good riddance, Roe v. Wade. Jason Brigham, I agree. Becca Gross, I'm pro-life Dem. Laugh at me all you want. The only reason I'm on the Dems for voters' rights, LGBT rights, and for the environment. Dannon says, I'm pretty upset about this. We shouldn't be forcing SA victims to give birth to their attackers' babies. Also, I couldn't care less about what the Bible says, even though there is abortion in the Bible, and tips of penis cutting as well, and philandering in the Bible. There's lots of really, really crazy stuff in there. All right, perfect. Y'all can hear me. This was, for those of you who don't know, this was actually leaked, supposedly. This information was leaked like a couple of months ago. I haven't heard. I knew the justices were apparently pissed about it. I don't know how it got leaked, or even if it really did get leaked. Maybe this is all just a big setup to get us all riled up and get us upset. But yes, in case you live under a rock and haven't heard, officially Roe v. Wade has been overturned today by the Supreme Court in pretty sure it was a 5-4 split decision, maybe 6-3. I'm pretty sure it was 5-4. 5 people in a row decided today that the rights that women have had in this country to choose, or not to choose for that matter, an abortion for the last 50 years they no longer exist. And I don't expect to solve the world's problems here. I'm just here to talk. From somebody who has come from the Republican side in my family. I was raised a Republican. I'm no longer a Republican. That's not to say that I am a liberal Democrat, because I most certainly am not. And for my regulars who have been tuning in, and people who have followed me or I'm friends with on Facebook or whatever, y'all probably have a pretty good idea that I make fun of, mock, and I won't say attack. That might get me in trouble, but I make fun of both sides of the aisle equally. Well, almost equally when it's deserved. I happen to agree sometimes with the Republican side, and I happen to agree sometimes with the Democrat side. And it's just funny to make jokes about it, because ultimately, to me, it just seems like we're all just pawns in this game. We're all just trying to get through it the best we can. I can honestly say that I feel like I approach the abortion issue with an open mind. Libertarians typically on this subject, on this particular issue, are split right down the middle. I'll take that back. I mean, well, we're like 33. About a third of libertarians I know are siding with the left, being extremely upset about this, and a third of the libertarians I've come in contact with are extremely pleased with this, and they're siding with the right. And the other third, which is, I guess, where I fall in the category, I can kind of see both sides, and I realize that it is such a charged issue with so many people who normally don't get involved with politics, that like generally don't give a crap about politics. They take a side on this one. On the right, obviously, you've got, generally speaking, a lot of religious people praising God, that Roe v. Wade is overturned, and on the left, you typically have a lot of people who are the opposite, completely upset. And then again, you've got people like me who just kind of laugh at both sides. And it's not laughing because I enjoy watching human suffering. It's not that at all. Anybody who's watched my channel knows my story. I'm just gone through as much human suffering as the next person. So someone like me looks at the Roe versus Wade, and I see a lot of people really upset about the rights of mothers or even would-be mothers completely stripped. And I just can't help it. My sadistic mind just straight goes to, welcome to what it's like to be a father in Texas. Again, not making fun. I don't even know if I'm taking a side. I don't know what to think about it. When I come to issues like this, and there's not very many of them, now that it is overturned, abortions are not going to stop. That's just a fact. They're not going to stop. They're going to keep happening. Now they're going to keep happening illegally. And it depends on which jurisdiction you're in, how severe the penalty is going to be. Is a mother or would-be mother going to be convicted of murder? Some people say she should, and some people say she shouldn't. I understand from the liberal side of, particularly if you're a woman, my body, my choice. I get that. Like, I really do. I totally get that. That is your body. That should be your body autonomy. I totally get that. But what happens when these abortions don't stop? And they're not going to. Just like alcohol consumption back in the Prohibition days for the 8 or 10 years, whatever it was illegal, the 20s and 30s. Alcohol consumption didn't stop. War on drugs. Oh, Ronnie Reagan, he declared war on drugs, and Nancy just said, just say no. Declared war on drugs and doing drugs and owning drugs and possessing drugs and blah, 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 getting caught with drugs. Did apparently not stop drug consumption. Just like banning firearms doesn't seem to do any good. People still use them for nefarious reasons. So my question is, or one of my observations is, what's going to happen when these inevitable abortions that these mothers or potential mothers are having, what's going to happen to them? I mean, I know the stats change, but there's approximately, the last time I checked, about 2.5 million Americans inside of a jail cell. It's a rotating number. They go in, they go out. People like me go in, we come out. And for all different kinds of crimes, or in my case, bullshit made up politics. What are we going to do? I mean, really, if you are anti-abortion, what are you really going to do about it? If I have no idea how many abortions are happen in this country, however you want to call it. I know it's a lot, like, just for round numbers. I'm just going to pull a number. I don't know if it's true or not. 1 million. I bet that's probably a pretty safe bet. There's 330 million people in this country, roughly. Maybe there's 10 million abortions a year. I really don't know. Just to say there's 1 million. We've already got 2.4 million people in prison for various things. America, land of the free, we've got 5% or less of the world's population and about 20% of its prisoners. These are just facts. You can look them up. Maybe it's 19%, maybe it's 20.5%. I don't know. It's close. So if 1 million mothers go out and get an abortion illegally, and I would assume they're going to be prosecuted on various sides in various jurisdictions, some murder, manslaughter. I don't know what to go. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to put 1 million mothers a year in prison? We're already at 2.4 million. That'd be like roughly 50% more. every year. So next year there would be 3.5 million, and the next year be 4.5, and then 5, and then 6, and then just by the time the next president's elected, well, whatever, you know what I mean. Couple elections from now, we're gonna have we would have triple the number of people in prison. How are you going to pay for that? How are you going to enforce it? What's going to happen to the kids that these mothers may already be raising? Maybe it was a one-night stand. Maybe creepy Uncle Joe. That was a tongue-in-cheek comment. Creepy Uncle whoever, snuck in a room. I don't know. I mean, apparently I can't say the R word. I hope y'all understand. I can't say it. I think it's ridiculous, but whatever. What's going to happen whenever these mothers that already have, a kid or 2 or 3, and then they have an abortion for whatever reason that they feel like they should, because it's, their business and their life. What's going to happen to their kids when you put 1 million of them in prison that have, say, on average 2 other kids? That's 2 million homeless kids. It's almost as if getting rid of the nuclear family and removing children from their parents is a terrible thing to happen. Man, let's see. Where have I heard that before? Oh, yeah, the Caleb Lever guy. He's been ranting and raving about this for years. The fathers have been systematically removed, and look where we're at. I've been divorced since 2007. My kids are grown, and I'm still dealing with it. Roe v. Wade, if I'm not mistaken, was overturned in 1973, which is strange to me. I didn't realize it was quite that long ago I knew it was a while back. I knew it wasn't, this century. But if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be a topic that most people, unless you're a single father that's been through this, or your son is a single father that's been through this and you're missing your grandkids, you probably haven't heard of Title IV defunding, except for very, very small circles, people like me. And there are people who have been talking about it for years longer than even I have. I learned from them. But Title IV defunding was also passed around the same time, around 1972, 1973. And Title IV defunding is a law, part of the Social Security Act, that gives money from the feds to state attorneys general to help pay for the salaries of the attorneys general. I know it. Anyways, to collect more child support. It's all about money. Follow the money. So in the early 70s, Roe versus Wade was passed, and suddenly women had a right that they'd never had before in this country, and now it's been overturned. In the 70s, Title IV defunding was passed, and ever since there's been more and more and more child support from these professional child support check cashers who happen to be mostly women. Again, not a race or not a sexist thing. It's just an observation and a provable fact. About 90%. And fathers have systematically been ripped out of the home. Yes, I know there's a bunch of deadbeat dads, for real deadbeat dads. I get it. I know there are. There's deadbeat moms too. But I don't think that the term equal suffrage that's not what I put that. Just because fathers have been mistreated for the last 50 years in the family court doesn't mean I would think it should equally be, well, let's come down on the mothers too and make them suffer just as much as us. How about maybe the suffering could quit? If I know this is taboo to talk about, but what if, just what if the people who make such decisions, 5 people in black robes, have made a decision that affects 330 million people, even the men, because have mothers too, and they have sisters. That's going to affect them. What if that just dissolved? I mean, would you or would you not live a perfectly happy life, being your nationality being, New York or Texas instead of the United States? Just a thought. People have traditionally moved away from areas of high conflict that affects their families. They traditionally don't want to be around it. And so they get up and they pack up, move. Hell, I did it. I wish I'd have done it sooner, but I couldn't. I was stuck in Texas, the cesspool of family courts. I was stuck there. But now, once my kids got grown, the first chance I got, I'm out of there. And not to say that Florida's family courts are that much better. I don't think they're quite as bad, but what if, just what if we just kind of dissolved it? Instead of this gigantic national government where 5 people get to make a decision on what happens to 330 million people. I mean, Texas alone is a gigantic state. It is huge. Its economy is bigger than a lot of countries. I just kind of seem to think, well, you go live where the people in your neighborhood where you live, you're in proximity of you, mostly reflects your ideals. And if this certain area, like, let's just pick on Texas for a minute, because I like picking on Texas. They've been run by Republicans for, 30 or 40 years. They created the monster that is the family court in Texas. Apparently they like it. That's how they want it, because that's how they've made it. That's just how it is. What happens if people who were anti-abortion just started flocking to Texas, and people who are pro-abortion started flocking to, I'm pulling up Illinois. I've never been to Illinois, or I don't know anything about Illinois very much, but let's just say, or New York. Okay, New York. Wherever you can find the people that in your state, what if that's just where you moved? Yeah, it's going to suck. The transitions always suck for somebody. Kind of like if or when child support is ever finally court-ordered mandatory child support is finally ripped away, all the professional child support check cashers, the pussies, as I like to call them affectionately, whenever their sweet, sweet money just quits flowing in for free, what are they going to do? They're going to be pissed. I promise you they're going to be pissed. But welcome to my world. I've been pissed. People like me, fathers like me, have been pissed this whole time. My entire adult life is mostly divorced, and I've been screwed and forced to pay. I'm still not even in the clear. My kids are grown. I got custody of my last son in 2017, who's now a grown man now. It still hasn't gone away. I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts? I know there's a lot of thoughts in here because I know it's blowing up over here in the comments, but I want to get where I'm coming from out of the way before I jump over into the comments. Catalyst. Depends on your home. JK, if you live on a ranch, an AR is better because your property is huge and you need range. I assume you mean the weapon? The United States government is so crooked and corrupt, they don't know how to begin being in favor of the citizens who put them in office. I wholeheartedly agree with that. You've got to be kidding me. That ain't my phone. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's not even coming through my phone. My phone is hooked to my computer, and it's this person that I don't even know really who it is trying to FaceTime me. This happened if you're new here, this happened a couple of weeks ago, and it is beyond annoying that I cannot I try to block this person and it won't block. And I don't understand why, and it just ruins my day. It pisses me off so bad. Oh my gosh. Jason Barrickman. Texas is a beautiful red state with good gun laws. Abortion is illegal in Texas. If it was New York choice, all states would be like Texas. Be careful what you wish for, man. I've been to New York, but I don't know a lot about it other than what I've heard from other people or read in the news. But I've been to Texas, and Texas, yeah, it's a red state, and gun rights are pretty cool there, and they're good on that, but they also put people in jail for not paying child support, not being able to pay child support. They put people on the street for not being able to pay child support. They put people in jail for holding one of God's plants, according to Genesis 1:29. According to Genesis 1:29, God made all seed-bearing plants, and he said that they were all good. But if you ask a red Republican conservative what their thoughts on marijuana, they just don't really have a problem with, a lot of people going to jail for holding one of God's plants. And then that dude's in jail, in and out of jail, and his kids don't get to have a dad. So that's my beef with Texas. There we go. YD Mr. Burns. I do not believe women have the right to kill their baby at any stage. But I also think it's the father's responsibility to care for and be in the child's life as well. Okay, that's a good point. It is. It is their responsibility. Unfortunately, in many cases, even in red states, sometimes we're not even told. Men aren't even told that they're the father. What happens to them? And same way with, if a woman decides to abort it for whatever reason. Why is that the state's business? What she does. But be careful, Democrats. Be very careful with that. Because if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not, we just got out of a fake ass pandemic where people who are now ready to, raid the SCOTUS, the courthouses, and do all kinds of bad things over my body, my choice being overturned. It wasn't very much, just a year or two ago, they were trying to jab me with a goddamn needle. And I didn't want it. Still don't have it. Never even got tested. Still hadn't got sick. That's my body. I'll put into it with what I want to put in it. Whether it's a can I say that? I don't even know if I can say that. Whether it's a needle or a marijuana plant or a beer or a shot of alcohol or even, the thin white line drug that I know I can't say that. You just got to be careful what you wish for. All those my body, my choices back in the Me Poo movement. When pandemic time came around, they that just went out the window. I mean, they were nuts. They were going to force jab everybody. If they had their way, they would have force jabbed everyone. I just wasn't having it. My body, my choice. And same way with marijuana. Republicans, be careful with that. Now they're screaming, my body, my choice because of the pandemic. Well, what about all those people that put marijuana in their bodies? It's their body. Shouldn't it be their choice? Oh, well, no. Jesus said, see, it all comes down to me, or a lot of it revolves around religion. People forcing their ideas of religion on everybody else. I don't have anything against religion at all. That makes it, if you find peace in your life with your religion, by all means, be religious. But just keep your religion to yourself. It's kind of like when we were told as kids, keep your hands to yourself. Don't bother other people. Don't assault other people. Don't push your point of view on other people. I mean, yeah, you got to teach your kids, but I've always taught my kids the non-aggression principle. It doesn't mean I'm a pacifist. Not by a long shot. If someone attacks you, there's a reason. They're strong. I mean, I've taught them how to fight. I want them to know how to fight. But the non-aggression principle just means you don't initiate the force. It's like most of us were taught as kids. Don't start the fight, but don't be afraid to end it either. That's all it is. Don't start to fight. Be nice to people. It's the golden rule from the Bible itself. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Thou shalt not commit aggression against thy fellow carbon-based life form. But if they do come after you, you have every right in the world to defend yourself, even if it means to the death. And no, I'm not calling for violence. I'm not calling for death of anyone. Just don't attack me. Because, everyone knows what a mama bear will do. If you attack her cub, she'll go all postal on you. Here's another one from YD, Mr. Burns. A lot of people say, well, what if I'm not financially stable and my baby will not grow up with money? My response is, does that really justify killing an unborn child? That's a good point. That's a point that the right takes. However, I can turn that around again. What the left says, they criticize, the pro-lifers of being, not wanting to murder the babies, but what are they doing to help homelessness? I don't know. It's a good question. I think it's a legitimate question. This is from Nathan. I don't recognize this person either. Jason, I'm sure they are fantastic parents, as I'm sure you are a good person, but there aren't loads of those parents, at least not enough to adopt all the children in the system. Yeah, and who wants, everybody can pretty much universally agree that, the government is not very good at raising kids. Who wants a system just plumb full of babies that the mothers didn't want? And who's going to pay for it? Who's going to raise these kids, and how are they going to be raised? They're in, and I'm not picking on orphans or people, people who grow up in the system like that. I think it's incredibly sad. I mean, my channel is absolutely loaded with young people who have told me they were raised in foster care and they give anything their whole life. They'd give anything just to have just one parent give a shit about them. Just one mom or just one dad to hug them when they're and tell them it's going to be okay. They'd give anything. I've heard it for years. I'd give anything to have a dad like you, just a dad at all. And again, I'm not picking on or making fun of people that were raised in foster care. I mean, what else are we supposed to do with them? My solution is to do our best on an individual basis not to make more of them. It's kind of like my stance on soldiers with PTSD who have been overseas and seen atrocities, things that it just makes their mind go, kind of like with me when I lost my son. Stop making more of them. What is making more of people like me? The family court. What's making more of these wars, these soldiers with PTSD wars caused by politicians? Ooh, here's a good one. The foster system is better now than in the past. Is it? I don't know. I don't know anybody or I'm not really close with anyone that was raised in foster. I mean, I know people who were raised by foster parents or the foster system, but is it? I don't know. I'll just have to take your word for it. I really don't know. Jason, so as many things, that doesn't make it great, though. Rebel Nazarene, he's talking to Catalyst. If you saw that in a movie because the city was full of evil people committing all types of heinous acts, you would hoot and holler cheering for their destruction. Oh man, maybe that y'all are talking to each other. I'm not sure what the context was there. Soldiers get treated like pawns, and when they come back, are left without support. Yep. Yeah, that's all the more reason I tell young people, if you can help it, don't join the military. Just ask a bunch before you do. At least go talk to a bunch of retired veterans, and not just one or two, not just selected ones up on stage, trying to get you to enroll you. Talk to some real ones. Yeah, particularly go out and find some homeless shelters, and I guarantee you'll find a bunch of them there. Ask them what they think. Ask them what they think about getting involved in the military before you decide to sign up for that. I mean, the internet is just flooded with people, with soldiers getting screwed by the VA. Absolutely flooded with them. The VA treats them, apparently, I don't have any firsthand experience, but I know people in real life that do have firsthand experience with it. A sticky jockey. The soldiers fight, but the generals get the fame. Yeah, that's typically it. But you have to ask yourself, why are they over there? Why are American soldiers in the 150 something countries that we're in? Why? What are we doing there? What are they doing? I'm not there. I'm getting away from this we stuff, because we didn't bomb all these people all over the world. Somebody else did. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. I didn't ask for it. I didn't want it. I didn't promote it. I sure as hell don't want my boys in the draft. Ooh, there's another hot topic. Speaking of Roe v. Wade, what's happening with all women? That's another hot topic with all men. Men by law, and I don't know how much they enforce it, but by law, you have to register with selective services. But only men. Why not women too? Again, I'm not saying they should make women too. I don't think anybody should be forced to. That's called conscription. I mean, what happens when inevitably the U.S. goes to war again? It's like me getting sued in the family court again. It's probably going to happen. They just, like George Carlin said, we're a warlike country. We love war. I don't. Americans in general do. Rebel, many crimes of the past have been caused solely by religion, with Christianity being part of it. That's not an exaggeration. Nathan's exactly right. I mean, I know that the religious right doesn't want to hear that, but it is true. And the keepers of history are always the victors of war. I'm one of those. Here we go. I'm one of those struggling vets dealing with the carelessness of the VA. Yeah, Edward, he was on here. One of the very first a schedule. It's not the first scheduled guest I had a week or two ago. And yeah, he's one of them. There's firsthand account. You can go back and watch his story. I mean, we weren't talking specifically about this, but it linked to, we were talking about the family court getting involved, and now the VA's in bed with the child support, professional child support check cashers, and they're just handing over what he was promised. If he would go serve his time, serve his country, he gets I don't know if they call it a pension. Again, I'm not a vet or not a soldier vet, but some kind of retirement or reward for, serving. And now it's getting screwed over and stolen from him. I think it's planned. Wars are based on religion. Probably. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them. Yeah. I don't have a doubt in my mind. I mean, any movie we've ever seen, God's all, they're always praying. This side prays that God will protect them, and this side prays that God will protect them. I mean, Carlin covered that 30 fucking years ago. Somebody's getting screwed. Could it be everybody? Right now, a lot of people are praying or wishing that Roe v. Wade wasn't turned over. And a lot of other people are praying and wishing and glad it was turned over. Could it be everyone's getting screwed in this? I think there's a good possibility. Sticky Jockey, the Iraq and Afghan wars are about religion, says the Islams. I don't know about that. Maybe. The more people label the politically opposite side as the enemy, the larger the rift between the country will be created. The left and the right hate each other and will only lead to negativity. Yep. Nathan must be a libertarian. Just like, who is it? I just saw him. Yeah, Tory. They want us divided. It's what it looks like to me. They want us pitted neighbor against neighbor constantly. Again, as if this country wasn't already completely divided because of what people see on the television. The TV just 2 years ago told the whole country, stay home and don't go to work. Wear masks and get jabs and double mask and triple mask and wipe down everything and put on gloves and don't have contact with your loved ones and family members. So, okay. And a lot of them did it. Half the country did it. And they forced it on the rest of us. But if you don't watch the television, you wouldn't have really known anything was bad. I mean, other than going in a store and have some idiot clerk yelling at you, get your mask on. Ha! Fuck you. I won't. Yeah. I did that several times. Just walked out. I wouldn't do business with them. I'd rather go out of my way and be a pain in my ass and I just went somewhere else. Especially in Florida, there's plenty of stores that stayed open. They're like, we want your business, man. We whatever. Come on in. We ain't gonna say anything. Well, it's another reason I love Florida. I moved here right in the middle of the pandemic, and I was so thankful because it was so nice. Nathan says, just think all the places you get your news from, all owned by rich billionaires who have it all to gain by letting people argue over everything. It makes them more and more profit. Yep. Nathan's probably a libertarian, if not an anarchist. Yep. I think the statistic is, and it's real close, 90% of all newspapers and TV stations that you watch are owned by like 3 companies with really big, expensive billionaires as CEOs that get big, nice pensions, and they pretend to be one of us, but they're not. Tell me what good does abortion do for anyone? It kills people. Evil at its finest. Again, what's the definition of a people? When does life begin? Some say at conception. Some say at birth. What happens after we die? Some say we go to a place called heaven and dance in golden streets with pearly gates. Some say you get a bunch of virgins when you get up there, which has always been super creepy to me. But then there's people like me, I just don't know. I don't know what happens on the other side. Actually, nobody does. They just think they do. They can't prove it, and they know they can't prove it. But they think they do because, they read it in a book or several books. Catalyst, I burned my Bible, so I can't find it, but there are many videos on YouTube talking about God's murders. Yeah, there's a YouTuber named damn it, what's his name? He makes cartoons. I can't think of his name. I'll put it in the description after this goes on, after I'm done here and it goes on the channel. He counted them and he made a cartoon graphic about all the murders committed by just the Christian God. That's not including any other God. There's lots of religions. There's hundreds, if not thousands of them. Golly, what's his name? Dark Matter. Yes, Dannon, thank you. Dark Matter 2525. Yeah, he's great. I mean, that guy's really thought-provoking. He's been around a long time, too. When I first started watching him he was just coming out. I was just starting to question my religion and I questioned everything. That's when I started questioning everything. Dark Matter 2525. He's really, really thought-provoking. 27 million murders, Caleb. Is that if you count them up in the Bible on the conservative level? I think that's what it was. To the devil's, 5? I think. So who's the bigger murderer? Well, you must be really proud of yourself burning your Bible. That's such a good thing to do. That's satanic and evil. I don't know. Is that part of the satanic sanctament you have to burn Bibles? I'm not sure. I mean, I think Satanists they're making it up too. They're just as imaginative as any of the other ones, in my opinion, but fabricated number with no basis and who they were and why they were killed. LO, laughing at Catalyst. Okay, Rebel here, he came on the other day, and if I remember correctly, he recently, in the last couple 3 years, became. I know I'm not going to get the exact of the Christian faith. I know that I don't remember exactly which one, but again, this is one of those deals. It divides people so much, and I'm not trying to be divisive. I'm just being me. This is how I see things. I think, see objectively both sides. I can see why religious people are choosing to praise what happened here with Roe v. Wade, because I used to be one of them. Nathan says, I don't get when people base their political views off of religion. You can't prove 100% without a shadow of a doubt that any religion is 100% real, so it shouldn't be used to make rules. That's exactly true. Even if you find somebody that says they can prove their God exists, if they're probably selling something, or they're on some really, really awesome drug that I'd probably like to try, like mushrooms. Savimbi, watch my prediction. After this, they will come for homosexual rights and the contraceptives after that. This is turning into a Christian theocracy. You might be right. You might be right. I mean, there's a lot of, I'm pretty, if I'm not mistaken, the Catholic religion, they do not allow contraceptions, condoms, birth control pills. I think I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you are Catholic and you know better than this, better about that than me. Yeah, that's why I'm not exactly praising this. I just think there's a bigger agenda. There's a much bigger agenda, and the people who wore masks and stayed home and didn't touch their own family for over a year because the TV told them to, they're susceptible. People like that are susceptible to just believing anything, even religion. Lana Paxos. Satanism is basically just LARPing to get Christians to clutch their pearls. Luciferianism is the ones that actually believe it. Okay, if I'm following you, the Luciferianism is an actual religion based around Lucifer, the god of the underworld, and they genuinely practice it. I don't even know what LARPing is. I've heard that, but yeah, that's just I guess she's saying the scare. That's the boogeyman to the Christian world, and when you talk about Satanism. Jason Bergman, I am a Christian. I have a personal relationship with my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Okay. Sarah Jane. Hello, Sarah Jane. I wouldn't wear a mask too. Good. I'm glad. I did wear them like when I had absolutely no choice, like no choice. Like when I bought my boat, I had to fly a one-way ticket to Florida to get it, and I didn't have a choice. But I cheated like a mofo because when you could eat, when you could pull it down, so I'd get like little crackers or something, and I'd just pull it down, and I'd just sit there and as long as I was eating, those stewardess or flight attendants or whatever the fuck the PC thing is to say, they'd walk by. They wouldn't say anything. But if it fell off, I'll let you know. Or if I left it down, just cause they just be right in my face. Get your mask on. Get your mask on. Get your mask on. But as long as I was just slowly eating, they didn't care. Like completely programmed. And plus, the mask I was wearing, they had these wire things in them. I'd take that wire and go bend it all the way out. And that way I could at least get some fresh air. Oh, shit. I know. Clarence Thomas just talked about trying to get rid of homosexual marriage and contraceptive. Did he really? That's interesting. Yeah, I think Trump appointed, not him, he's been around for a long time, but Trump appointed like 3 in his 4-year as prezi. He appointed, that's a lot. Usually, if I'm not mistaken, that's a whole lot. Because justices are justices for life. I mean, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she was on the court for what, 30 something years. YD Mr. Burns, they will not take away contraception. They won't. I wouldn't put it past anybody. The powers that be, the big brothers, they'll do whatever they want if they really want to. People will believe religion, so they'll believe anything from Catalyst. Yep. Mr. Burns, because 95% of Republicans are on board with contraception and all Democrats are basically, I guess, did you finish your statement somewhere? Because that's not a complete sentence. I'm not quite following you. I would imagine the Republicans are not on board with contraception. They don't even want you to have sex until after you're married. They don't want you to test drive anything until you're already hooked to it, which is crazy. Crazy. Catalyst. The Satanic Church is a bunch of atheists making fun of Christians. Okay. Oh, they're trolls. Sometimes trolls are fun. I like trolling sometimes. I'm not a Satanist, but I certainly get the humor. Will Bass says, hi, Dan and Deetra, live action role playing. Oh, LARPing. Live. Okay, yeah. Live action role playing. I better keep this at least rated PG-13. Jason Barrickman, I never wore it. It's not a law, so why obey the mandate? Okay. What if it was? Let's just pretend that it was. They tried to make it. Just pretend that it was a law. Would you have said the same thing? Why obey it? And if you would you say the same thing about a woman who decides to get an abortion after today? At what point, where's your line? Not you, anyone. Where's anyone's line in the sand on civil disobedience or just plain disobedience? Rebel Nazarene talking to Catalyst. So everything you own was designed and created, but somehow all the plants and animals in nature are that way. More impressive, had no intelligent design. LOL. What? I don't know. Like I said, that's why I'm an agnostic. I'm not an atheist. I don't know. YK evolution, where only the fittest survive. Well, yeah, that's just kind of how it is. It is. That's just how it is. The fittest do survive, and the least fit go extinct. Wouldn't surprise me if humans go extinct. I don't know, might be 1,000 years from now or several thousand. I don't know, but eventually, yeah, we'll probably go extinct. We're too mean, too destructive, too controlling. But as Carlin said, the earth will be perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. When humans are long gone, the earth will be beautifully and perfectly just fine. Nathan's talking to Rebel. So the more obvious answer is that some magic being in the sky created it all. Yeah, I'll believe that's the stuff that has been proven. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. To me, it makes sense that there probably is some kind of creator that we can't wrap our heads around, because all of the material, this thing I'm holding, the TV, all of you watching, the particles, and it couldn't have always just existed. It seems natural that it was made somehow by something that we can't even comprehend, like beyond quantum physics, beyond black holes. But I just don't know what it is. I don't think anybody else really does either. And just reading a book and mommy and daddy told me so, to me, is not a good enough argument, like at all. I have to have a lot more proof than, I read it in this book, and this book, and this book, and this book, and I compared them all. Plus, my parents raised me to be this religion, so it is true. I have to have more than that. That, again, that's a argument I have with religious people, and I think we've even talked about it on here with somebody. I think Rebel and I were talking about it. If there is this benevolent being that loves me and cares for me so much, that has absolute ability and power, infinitely wisdom, infinitely strong, why so vague? Why send all these vague signs to be proof that this benevolent God exists? If they're that strong and that powerful, and the consequences of not living them is rotting in hell eternally, Could he not just step it up just a little and just simply prove it? Like, appear before me and show me. I would totally believe. I'd totally think if Jesus would appear and like actually show himself to me and my neighbors and just show all of us all at the same time, I'd be totally cool with that. I actually kind of wish it would happen. But I think it would be cool to have the power of Deadpool or the power of Superman as well. Just don't think it's I just don't think it's real. I haven't seen any proof. Catalyst says more evidence than a book of funny stories, and just trust me, bro. Yeah. Funny stories and also educational stories. The Bible's full of interesting, parables and life lessons. It really is. I mean, hell, the story of Jesus Christ himself is just fascinating to me. That dude is by far the most successful activist of all time. He pissed off the powers that be, and the cops of the day crucified him for it. Like it or love it, that's the story, and that's fascinating to me so much. He was so famous that we still talk about it and start wars over it even to this day. Catalyst, there is no proof that the world has been here for millions of billions of years. Fossils dating can prove the world is 6,000 years old. No, that's just simply not true. I mean, I've got firsthand experience. I was raised in the summertime in a little tiny town on a ranch. It belonged to my Uncle Dale. It was my favorite uncle. And unfortunately, he passed away about, 14, 15 years ago, right as I got divorced. And a little place called Sheffield, Texas. And Sheffield, Texas is south of Odessa, Texas, about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And it gets to be the layout is it's really flat on top, and they've got these gigantic ravines that go down 200 to 300 feet. And it's still deserty. It rains maybe a handful of times a year, big storms, and it floods, and then you won't get any rain for months at a time. So it's desert, and has been desert my whole entire life. But I've walked that area. This was probably as a kid in high school. It was in junior high. I started finding these seashells, and not just one or two. Like, I was hiking deep into these canyons. We used to get up there and push boulders off and just watch them go down and crash, because it's just so cool. Especially if we were hunting deer back then. We try to snuff out the deer and just roll these big boulders. Well, under these big gigantic rocks that obviously haven't been moved in who knows how long, we could dig in there and we could find seashells, and a lot of them in different sizes. Obviously, that area a very long time ago used to be underwater. So I don't buy this 6,000-year-old stuff, like, not even for a second. Yeah, from Nathan. Yeah, a theory has been evidenced, hence how it came about. I'll believe that instead of a book of witness statements from a cult following the magic man Jesus. Okay. But again, you would have to admit the story. He's pretty badass. I mean, he's all about nonviolence. But if you cross him, he will flip over the money changers, the bankers' tables, when they're desecrating his father's house, as he saw it. I think it's badass. Duzerkis Chris 619. If they can be civil, would like to see a debate with Rebel and Nathan with Caleb moderating. I don't know. Do you want to? Maybe I'll see. Dinosaur fossils are literally said to be millions of years old. I did it again. I didn't put in the invite. Good grief. If y'all want to do this, I'm happy to bring y'all on. I think that'd be interesting. Who said that? Chris 619. I just put the link in there, right there. I put a star next to it. If Rebel and Nathan would like to come on, you want to talk about this, have at it. I think that'd be fun. That'd be interesting. I like the conversation. Seems like such a coincidence that we have to have faith that God is real instead of God proving it to us. Yeah, pretty much to me too. This is Rebel talking to me. Part of God's character is that he likes a bit of mystery and you to meet him halfway with faith, not for everyone. Again, my question is, how do you know? How do you know that statement? How do you know? You just said that God's character is that he likes a bit of mystery. Did he tell you that? How do you know that? How could anybody possibly know what God's character is without talking to him or her or them or whatever it is? That's just so that's just way beyond my comprehension. Yeah, do you like Fortnite? No, I do not do games. My boys do, but I don't. Even Jesus would laugh at modern Christians. Hell yeah, he would. Yeah. Oh, definitely. That absolutely. I don't think Jesus would even recognize modern Christians. The people that put me in jail, held me in jail, sued me over and over again, and took my bank account, stole my kids. All of them profess to love Jesus. I just don't. I don't know. I don't follow it. All right, Jason B. It's going to get added to the stream now. Hello, Jason B. You are on. What's on your mind?
Hello again. Hello. Yeah, I have a cat avatar. But how you doing, Caleb?
Okay, I'm doing well. I'm going to go ahead and let me see. I'm going to add Tori to the stream because Tori's not called in, but he's been in the chat a lot. So, all right, now I've got Tori as well as Jason. And I don't know. I don't think it's.
How you doing, Tori?
How you doing,
Tori?
Just trying to figure out this cam stuff here.
Oh, we see you.
Just trying to figure out this cam stuff here.
If you've got headphones, you need to plug them in though. They're going to get an echo.
All right.
I got my headphones in.
All right, I'm going to mute you real quick. Okay, yeah, he's got kids in the background and the echo is going back. So, all right, Jason, what's on your mind, man?
Oh, I was just seeing how you're doing. I kind of wanted to say that I messed up on one of the things that I wrote to you. I said, I don't know how I said this, but I said fossil dating. Take that back. I did not mean fossil dating. I meant C6 dating. And I just wanted to let you guys know, I'm sure glad that you guys, it's called C6 dating. Yes, my pastor actually had me watch a movie about evolution and how it's just a theory. There is no facts with evolution. That's all I got to say. I mean, you can believe, people can believe what they need to believe. But in my opinion, that evolution has been around for a while. The theory, it's just that, a theory. It's never been proven. Sure. And that's all really I have to say. I'm a Christian and I just don't believe we evolved from monkeys. I don't believe in evolution. I don't believe in any of that stuff. It's all hogwash the way I see it. And I kind of believe I'm more to believe what Rebel Nazarene said about how all there is heaven. I mean, it's hard to believe that all there is heaven. I know you guys think that, but I'm a Christian, and I don't know how I couldn't do it in this stream. I couldn't do it, but I could tell you guys how I could believe in Jesus and stuff like that, but I couldn't do it in the stream. I don't have that much time. So,
well,
I don't know what to say really. I don't know what to say other than that.
I encourage people like yourself, you may not have time to do it, go ahead and start recording yourself. Put your ideas out there on your channel. That's exactly what I do. You're saying evolution.
It's hard to explain, but
maybe we didn't evolve from monkeys. Maybe that part is just as bunk as anything else. I don't know. Again, I'm just full blown agnostic. I don't know. I can't any more prove that Jesus walked the earth 2,000 years ago than I can prove that.
Hey, Catalyst, there is one thing I do agree with you on that, Catalyst. That Catalyst. I do agree with that a little bit, that he would laugh at modern Christians because modern Christians did wear the mask. Like I told Caleb, I don't think that true Christians, how do I say this? To put this? True Christians, at least me, I would never wear a mask unless it's a law. Now, Caleb would say, what, if it's a law, does that mean we have to do it? Well, according to the Bible, it's crystal clear that laws are made to be obeyed, not mandated. The Bible does. The Bible actually does talk about, if Jesus walked the earth today, I really honestly think he would not wear a mask. Jesus would not wear a mask if he walked the earth today. That's all I got to say about
Jesus
that.
broke the law all the time. That's why they killed him. So why would
right,
you have a problem
yeah,
with
you're right,
breaking the law?
You're right.
Why do you have a problem with breaking the law? I mean, if it's a stupid law and it doesn't hurt anything, such as marijuana, break the law. I mean, I might get in trouble.
Well, I wouldn't see myself speeding 80 miles down the road. I can't see myself doing that. I try to go by the laws of the land, and I try to obey the laws. That's just the way I am.
The law of the land in this country 150 years ago was chattel slavery was legal. Is that a good law? Should you have obeyed?
You're right. You're right about that. I don't know. I can't argue that, I guess.
Laws, there's Tori. I'm going to add Tori back in. Laws are merely the opinion of people. That's all they are. And then they bless it, and they write it down on pieces of paper, and they pray to it and bless it and sign it, and it becomes what is
law.
What the enforcers are told to do. Tori, are you okay? You got your headphones. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I still hear some talk in the background, but at least the echo's gone. So what's up, man?
Hold
on. Kids.
All right. Yeah, it's my weekend to have the kids, so they're out there. So I got a couple minutes here.
Okay.
So yeah, I got triplet boys, so it's kind of chaos.
Oh my goodness. How old are they? Wow. Triplets, huh?
They're 5.5.
They are 5.5. That's a statement I don't hear very often. They're 5.5.
Yeah. Well, you pretty much count every day when you have multiples, just for the fact that, I mean, you notice every minute. I mean, one kid is hard enough, and let alone 3 at once.
Right. Well, I'm sure as their dad, you can probably tell them apart really easily, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, I've always wondered, my mother's a twin, my grandfather's a twin, but I've never had any twins. But I know the parents can almost always tell them apart. But if something happens and someone one of the turd kids was being a turd kid, you didn't see it, do you know them well enough to know which one it probably was and it probably wasn't? If they're triplets?
Yeah, they gain a personality pretty early. You can tell them apart, you know. I mean, I just know by looking at the back of their head or certain sounds they make, you know, you can tell. 2 are identical, and one is he's just like a fraternal.
Oh wow.
We went through the IVF, so it was 2 failed attempts, and then on a 3rd attempt, we're like, well, let's go ahead and put 2 embryos in. We put the 2 in, and the doctor said, "Hey, are you guys sure you want to do this?" Because for some reason he was pretty sure that cycle was going to work, and like, yeah, you know, we running out of options. You know, this could be the last time that we do it, and so yeah, we ended up having 3 at once, and then we still had.
But I assume you all originally only anticipate having 1.
Yeah, 1. Yep.
And
yeah, we still had some embryos left over. That my wife found a place. She found some people that were looking to have kids, and she donated them. And then they actually had 1 boy, and then she donated them to a friend that she knew that was trying to have another kid, and then they had another boy. So there's 5 kids from 1 batch.
Wow,
that is fascinating. Well, what's your take?
So Tori, hey Tori, I want what Tori's. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask him what his view on abortion was. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't want to make people on the left pissed off at me, and I don't want to make people on the right pissed off at me. But I'm kind of in the middle, so I'm gonna kind of make both sides, maybe angry with me, and I'm kind of a libertarian, so I don't see as being full one way or full the other way, and I want if there's an emergency or some extreme case, then I feel it's okay and it needs to be done, and but then again, what kind of lives have we lost as far as inventions, cures, all that stuff, technology wise, and in China, they had a ban on how many kids you could have. There was, I don't know what it was, if it was
Two.
how
I'm pretty sure it's
two.
or
And,
not even been
and
one.
from what I
at
hear
one
is
point.
they've kind of went away from that because they're trying to preserve their culture. They want their culture, they want to be the superior culture, and we're over here. It seems kind of like they can keep the population down if we go through this. And I heard there was around 63 million over the 50 years of abortions that's been done. But I'm also a person, I didn't get the old shot in the arm. That's my choice, and I feel everybody should choose what they want to do.
Mhm.
And just like that, everybody, we can't say one side, well, it's my body, it's my choice, I'm not going to get a shot or whatever, that's my choice, I'm not going to do it. But then we can't say for somebody else, well, you can't do this, and they're like, well, it's my body too. We can't. It goes based on what your views are, whether it's your choice or not. And
Well, I think you and I pretty much, that's pretty much where I'm at. I think late term abortion is just abhorrent. I think that's just gross. I mean, the baby, the last, the gestation period's about 40 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. Certainly the last 5-6 weeks, the baby could survive inside or outside easily.
mhm.
Even without the most modern technology, that would be pretty easy to do. My compromise, if there must be one, is the first month or 2 or 3, or I guess 3 months, first trimester. Yeah, it literally is the day y'all do the day mom and dad do the dirty, and the sperm cell and the egg come together. It is literally just a clump of cells. It literally is. Again, I'm not a doctor. I can't imagine there being a lot of pain receptors when so in somewhere between then and the time, 40 weeks later, I think it's just horrible to just, reach in there and, start grabbing and clipping and yanking out body parts. At least go back, long enough for she knows whether or not she is or not, whether or not she even wants to keep it. Completely her choice, but with the least amount of pain, if not no pain, within the first trimester. I think there's going to have to be, whether I like it or not, or anyone likes it or not, some kind of compromise there.
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of grace.
I have one question. If I can I ask a question? If that's okay.
Sure.
Go ahead. So my question is, and I'm not trying to get anybody upset with me on this, but so my question would be: is, in your personal opinion, in Caleb's or in Tori's, don't you think that abortion, killed at 1 week or killed at 20 weeks, don't you think it would still be, if the woman decided to not keep it and kill it, don't you think that would be a decision? And also, don't you think that could be considered murder? That's, in my opinion, that's what I think. So.
Again, I'm just going to go to the resort to the fact that we've got to come to some kind of compromise. It is her body, whether I like it or you like it or anyone likes it. It is her body. I don't want anybody, telling me what the hell I can and can't do. I mean, I hate that. I've always hated that. There's again, that's the only reason I would propose some kind of compromise. You know, the day before the baby's going to be born, I'm like, really? You're just now coming to realize you're big fat pregnant. You're just now coming to realize you don't want the baby. Your due date is tomorrow and you want to abort. Like, that's just absolutely ridiculous. You don't need that much time to find out. I would imagine you just kind of know. I mean, you're living your life with no kids and all of a sudden you got one growing in you. You can kind of figure out, is this something? I mean, why risk the most amount of pain possible? Why not have the least amount of suffering possible? And if you're going to abort it in the first trimester, and that way, if that were law, that no good big brother or government would come in and attack you or jail you. Or again, what are we going to do with all these women that are going to have the abortion? I mean, we going to put them all in prison for life for murder? How there's not enough there ain't enough cops in even America to enforce that, much less jails to hold them all in. And even if you built them, we're in a recession. This country's $30 trillion in debt. It's never going to get paid off. Where's the money going to come from? That would be
that is true.
Counter question. How do you pay for it? Even if you did want to enforce it.
Yeah. Also, too, isn't it up to the states are going to make the decision how they want to?
Yes.
Where they want to draw the line on.
Yeah, my governor in Washington has already done a little live stream saying that he's going to make abortion houses safe havens for women already. Is that evil? I think that's sick, but yeah, they're already Democratic states like Washington are already having safe havens and stuff like that. So
I've seen some states that have already closed their facilities. I guess they've labeled them closed. But you're going to have states like California and states like that are gonna say, come over to our state and we'll do it over here. So I don't know. It's just so hard to say, and everybody's got an opinion on it.
I'm a big proponent of dissolving the federal government in its entirety and let it go down to the states. And then after that, let even within the state, Texas is freaking huge. It does, let the people in Ector County, Texas, where I'm from, decide what's good for Ector County, Texas, and the people in Tarrant County, Texas, which is Dallas area, let them decide what's good for them. And then let the people move where they may be, and the people who generally like, if abortion's like where you cross the line, like that's where I move to an area of people that think just like you, and away from people that think the opposite. The people who are the religious type, the Christian type, stay away from, say California or Oregon. Stay away from there and move to a place and find more people to be around that you have more in common with. And I
agree with that. If I was rich, I would actually be moving to Post Falls, Idaho. I'd be moving to Idaho in a jiffy if I was rich. Post Falls is just 30 minutes down the road. So
yeah, Idaho's beautiful. I've been there. I used to have a girlfriend there, and Idaho is just absolutely gorgeous. There's some strange people there, but there's strange people everywhere.
Yeah. Also, I'd like to add too, whether I've seen a lot of people talk about religion and stuff in the chat, and whether you believe in any form of God, or you believe this is all a simulation, or whatever you believe in, whatever created us, put us in this situation where we had to come up, we had to find a solution for this. And, there's no right or wrong answer, because not everybody's going to be happy. And I think the the timing of this is, I don't know. We're already so divided, and now who knows? I haven't even
Now
looked at the
this.
news. Yeah, I haven't looked at the news, but I just know that these state capitals and stuff, they're just, it's going to be protest, and it's going to be getting out of hand.
Yeah, the 2020 burning down the mostly peaceful protests of burning down everything. I bet you we're gonna be it's burned down the states, or burn down the capital season again, or whatever. It's burned down the neighborhood season again.
And at this time we're going through the January 6th stuff, and then we're going to have this. And
oh my God!
If anything major happens, how are they going to justify this? This was for a good cause, and that was for, that was January 6th. However,
I've
they
got a
label
friend
that.
of mine, and she's a woman. She's a mother at that, and she posted something a while back that she said something like, "I've had rougher sex than January 6th." I'm so tired of hearing about that January 6th. That was, I knew better not than to go there. I wasn't going to show up. That was a setup from day one. I'm going to put the stream in the chat again. I'd really like to have a woman's perspective, regardless of your opinion of Roe versus Wade. I'd really like to have a woman. I don't want to be accused of being biased and a bunch of there's three men here talking about something that only directly affects women. I'd love, if you're a woman and you would like to come on, I'd love to have your perspective, again, regardless if it's in favor or against what just happened today. So y'all let me know. I know Dana's in there. Come on, Dana. You're in the chat all the time. Just get on. I know you're opinionated on this. Rebel Nazarene, you've used a telescope and you think the moon looks more like a twinkling light than a crater pocked rock. Oh, they're talking to each other.
I was in the telescope stuff for a while. I went through a space period, and so yeah, the first time you see Saturn in a telescope, you just, you only see it in books or on TV, an image of Saturn. But when you see Saturn the first time through a telescope, it's pretty amazing, really.
I bought the kids one a long time ago, but they never showed a lot of interest, and we were in the RV a lot back then, and I didn't have a lot of room. Every time we moved somewhere, it's hard to set up. I'm interested in it. That's why I love space stuff. I know a lot of people can't stand Neil deGrasse Tyson, but I think he's awesome. I love his voice. I love his stories. I don't quite understand why people hate on him so much. Kind of like, I don't quite understand why people hate on Nickelback. I mean, if you don't like the music, that's fine, but why go the extra 10, not extra 10 steps and just not like it? They hate it. I don't know. I just don't get it. Why people don't, some people hate Neil deGrasse Tyson so much. I don't get it. I think he's fascinating to listen to me.
Oh, I love astronomy is my favorite subject as far as, I like biology too, but astronomy, I love to read books about it. It's very interesting.
I use the analogy a lot and tell people, say, space is so big, the human mind, it can't comprehend how big everything is on that scale.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's why I like listening to him.
And I say, just look at some of the things that are going on right now in the country and in the world. I say some of the stuff, it sounds crazy, but that your mind can't comprehend it because it's just so
wild
that some of the people can't believe a lot of the stuff that's going on and see through it. Like, I go on a lot of conspiracy theory and stuff like that, listen to a lot of that. And whether you believe that we're in a great reset, so they call it, or not, I mean, the human mind can't comprehend the breakdown of the economy and the world.
Any more than they can comprehend living, like if they're American, without a federal government. They just can't They cannot fathom what it would it be like for the federal government to just be completely dissolved. And I'm like, why? I think we'd be just fine. Ooh, hang on here a minute. Homeschool mom of one. I'm glad the ruling was made, and now it allows the states to decide what happens. Ruth Bader Ginsburg said that it should have never happened because the Constitution doesn't say anything about it. That's right, it doesn't. Well, homeschool mom of one, I assume you are a woman. Since you're saying you're a mom, I would love to get your opinion if you would like to video chat in. And that way I'm not called a man pig for having only men on here talking.
You know, and I'm not religious, but I'm more for live your life, live a good life, be nice as you can to everybody, and you know, just leave people alone, let them make their own choices, and you do your own thing. And I'm pretty much just sitting over here while everybody's arguing back and forth, whether over every single thing, and it's like there's a middle ground to everything. There has to be.
That's an interesting thought. Think about this. What if the federal government did dissolve, and say you live in Florida like me, and somebody over in Oregon or Washington State gets an abortion and nothing happens to them, and you're living your life, minding your business, taking care of your family, going to your job, being a good human being, helping out people when you can, how upset are you supposed to get, or are you really going to get about that abortion that you heard about that someone got in Washington State and nothing happened to them?
People want to find a reason to be outraged about everything and anything. And with social media now, it's kind of amplified that because it's gave people a voice to put out there. You know, it's like, how much of this stuff around your local town would you even have known happened before social media? You wouldn't have known.
Right.
You wouldn't have known about the car crash necessarily on the other side of town, or this or that. But now everything's out there, and now everybody wants to put a voice. It's like some people can't wait 2 seconds to go on Facebook or whatever and put their opinion on the thing, and then it just gets everybody stirred up. And I mean, you got friends with people that are on the left and people that are on the right, religious, non-religious, and you know, it just destroys either friendship and quite frankly, you know, family members. You know, they stop talking to each other, they get mad at each other because of political views or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me and my family, we get along okay, but my sister and my dad and our family is with this. I'm the only one that believes pro-life and they're pro-choice, so we don't really get along with that. But we don't talk about abortion, so we don't talk about that subject, so we just stray away from it. So yeah, but yeah, you can't. Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Tori.
It is well established that Americans stand in line and enjoy standing in line to get offended. They cannot wait to be offended. It's like they have to have it. And it isn't just the left. I know the left are probably the funniest to watch have their meltdowns. You know, the crying and with their pussy hats and stuff. They're the funniest to watch have a meltdown. But believe me, the right has meltdowns. They do. I mean, they do get offended. I've just learned in my life I just really don't get offended. I mean, I've watched people and read people call my kids names online for years, and I'm like, why do I even bother? Why would I bother getting offended? Hey, these people, I don't know them. They have no impact on my life. They obviously don't know my kids if they're calling my kids brats and shitheads or whatever they're calling them. I don't give anybody that much power to get offended. I think getting offended is just a sign of another sign of a weak mind. Lily Butler. I don't believe in abortion, but I don't have the right to tell others what to do with their body. And Lily Butler, I assume
I agree with that.
I don't. Okay, she again. I just want to repeat what she said. I don't believe in abortion, but I don't have the right to tell others what to do with their body. Yeah, that goes back to just a minute ago what I was saying. Okay, what if Lily and me and Tori and Jason, and after this law is passed in Washington State, they protect it up there, and a bunch of people go up there, and there's just loads and loads of abortions happening up there. How upset are we here in Florida supposed to get at all that injustice up there in Washington State? Uh-oh, you got the train coming again?
We got another train. Didn't we have one last night?
Yeah, I think it was on Jason as well. I think it was his. Anyway, how upset are we supposed to get? How enraged are we supposed to get? It's really none of our business. They're 3,000 miles away. I mean, well, okay, if that's the case, I mean, Mexico's actually closer. How, just across the Rio Grande and just across from Del Rio, Texas, if someone has an abortion on the other side, are we supposed to be outraged? Is that murder? Well, I mean, murder's bad, right? How outraged are we supposed to get? I dare say almost nobody would get outraged about it.
Yeah, I don't get mad one way or another. Just like I said, I don't want people telling me what. Oh well, I don't want certain words we can't say here, but I don't want people saying, "Oh, you need just take the jab, do this and that." I don't want to. That's my choice. So I'm not going to be the one to go and tell the other side that they have to do this. And like I said, however we got here on this rock, got put in a situation, and this is what we have to face. I mean, wildlife doesn't have to, they don't have to deal with this problem. They don't have to make the choice. But us as humans, this is our problem, and for some reason, somebody set it up as a problem that we have to figure out and work around or work out.
It's all the bankers. We all know it's the bankers. It's getting late, and I'm getting a little itchy, almost wanting to get into conspiracy theories. The bankers
we
setting
can,
all this up.
Yeah, we can go on that all day, all night with that stuff. We can go right from the old family courts to conspiracy theories and into crypto.
My dad and my sister and my dad were both my sister and my dad were both took the, I guess you call it the Jabberwocky. They took the shot, but they're vaccinated and I'm not. So they've never really teased me about it, but I don't want to. It's that's why I would say my body, my choice, because I don't want to take the vaccine. So that's why I shouldn't pressure women. I should just let the women, my body, my choice on that one, because I believe that I don't want to take the vaccine, so they shouldn't have to have an abortion. I guess I kind of agree with that. I guess yeah.
Okay, I'll throw another stipulation out there. Let's say a husband and wife been married, 5-10 years, been trying for a long time, and she finally gets pregnant and everything's going well, and for whatever reason in let's say the second trimester, I don't know, she gets mad at him for whatever reason, maybe cheated on her, I don't know, maybe she wants to leave him, and she decides to abort the baby. Then what? It's her body, it's her choice, but they've been planning this for 5 or 10 years, and the news was coming. Or okay, let's say he didn't cheat. Just say she just, for whatever reasons, maybe she found religion or anti-religion, and maybe she had a bad experience, and she just, for whatever reason, she decides she wants to abort it. And does the father, who's been with this one woman for 10 years and paid who knows how much to have in vitro or whatever, and now he's excited and he's about to be a father, and is she the sole arbiter in that situation to decide, oh, I'm just going to kill it just to piss him off? That kind of doesn't seem fair to me. I'd love to hear a woman's perspective on that. I would come on if I didn't currently have CV-19 and sound horrible, but as I was saying earlier, I'm really worried about SA on a personal level, as well as incest victims. Yeah, and that does happen. I mean, that creates a life, and it creates, depending on the severity of the incest, I mean, it could be a very miserable, like heavily deformed, a very miserable life for that person.
I
Whereas,
think that falls in extreme cases. I mean, that's an extreme case where it should be all right to do for sure, whether it's incest or rape. Um, and then, like the medical emergencies, that's another one that, you know, somebody has to make a choice, and it may not be the right choice in some people's eyes, but I mean, there's somebody that's already here and is, they've already got the bond with many people, and right now the younger child, before it's born, like people that really have the bond with it is the mother for sure,
it
and
is, yeah,
and then
no
the
doubt.
father, and that, that's why when a lot of mothers have a miscarriage, they say they feel it because it's just like they had it, they had a lot of child, and it's not necessarily something that uh, men can be upset about it, but it's not the effect that a woman feels when they lose a child. And I hear a lot of women that say that they're still upset years later because there is that bond. I mean, connection wise, for sure.
Well, Lily just asked, why don't men have any rights? It's his baby, or we're just carrying his baby. I've asked that same thing. What about why am I treated as second class citizen? Like literally, I'm called a visitor. If you get divorced in Texas, I don't know how it is in other states. They call it the visitation schedule. I'm labeled a fucking visitor. I've always resented that. Sure, she is carrying the baby, but the baby is only there because one little cell, a sperm cell from the man, made it possible. It's a good point. It is. What about the baby's body? At what point does the baby get bodily autonomy? Only when it's old enough to get a social security number? I mean, were you that sick? What are y'all's thoughts on that? What about the dad? Well, like the example I just gave, they're married 10 years. They tried for years to have a baby. They finally got their baby. Something happened. She decided for whatever reason she wanted to abort it, and maybe she just wanted to be vindictive, or I don't know, maybe she went nuts. Maybe she just went crazy. Who knows? Maybe she got in a car wreck and just didn't want to, and she was paralyzed from the waist down and didn't want that life for herself or her baby. Whatever her reason
Yeah,
is, does the father not get a say in that? Like at all, like any at all? I kind
I
of
think
sounds
Yeah, I
like
that's
it
think
tough to
should.
regulate.
I'm like Lily. I think that the father should have a say. Yeah, they should have rights.
Well,
Just as
okay, well
much
that
rights as a woman, really.
I think you should too. But then again, that's just two people, 50-50. There's a reason we have 9 justices on the Supreme Court. That way, there's never a tie. Who gets to be the tiebreaker? The state, the feds, the Supreme Court. I mean, who gets to do it?
Yeah, that's hard to regulate just because say the father wants the baby and the mother doesn't, and you know how, let's say 6 months left. You got a long time to go, and it's like you'd almost have to have somebody there watching all the time to watch over, make sure that she carries, keeping up on
Yeah,
nutrition and all
who
that,
wants
and
that?
that's just way too hard to regulate. uh
Yeah, how do you
you
fund
know
that? Who wants the big brother watching them all the time? Make sure every woman that gets pregnant goes through all the full term. I mean, who really wants to do that? I mean, who wants that kind of big brother watching over them? I mean, I don't. I don't want it at all. I guess it just comes down to Keep it on as local as possible. The feds, should just be completely out of it. Of course, the feds should be completely out of almost everything. Personally, I think it should just be dissolved and make 50 new little nations that just figure out how to get along, and then maybe those will eventually dissolve and have little counties, and again, going all the way down to the individual. But I just don't see a need anymore for one governing body in Washington, D.C., 5 people making that decision for 330 million people as far away as Alaska and Hawaii. Why should they have any business with people that far away? I think it just, I would love to see the federal government just dissolve, just go away, just leave us alone, move on. If I live in Florida, which I do, I'll just deal with Florida politics. And, if I don't like it here, then I'll move to another state. If someone doesn't like it in another state, they'll move to Florida.
Caleb, I do have to say I would love to live in Florida because I love Ron DeSantis and I love your governor. I just Florida is just a great place. Sunshine.
Yeah, Ron DeSantis is great. I've got a few issues on a few things, but overall, when it came to the bullshit scamdemic, Ron DeSantis was on the front line saying, "Nope, not listening to that crap, not funding it."
Actually, I was going to end up in Florida. Well, I would have been there now if our marriage would have worked out and we would have got everything back on track, because the plan was to start over and move to Florida, because we're in Iowa right now. But now I'm in my own apartment and doing the weekend thing.
Okay, so y'all are divorced then, right?
Not legally, no.
Oh, but that's the plan.
It's not final.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay,
I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna mute him real quick. Okay, he's back. The seed of the father, men have more fertility power, considering the sperm count. If you look at it that way, pregnancy is an absolute miracle, and people think there's no God. It's not really a miracle if it happens, in my opinion, every single day. It's just what happens. Not just with humans, but with thousands of other species: whales, monkeys, giraffes, bugs, gnats, insects of all kinds. They all get pregnant and multiply. And I don't know that it's really a miracle, because it's just so common. Here's another one from Lily Butler. Fathers have always been pissed on when it comes to his baby. How can the government have a right to tell a dad you don't have any rights? I could not agree more. That's been my entire experience for mostly being a father. Who is Ken Paxton to keep taking my money and keep raising hell like this? Who are all these judges that keep telling me that I'm just a visitor, and me and lots of fathers just like me? Who are these people that make these laws that says that my role in raising the kid is just simply how much and how often, how much money I can pay on a scheduled regular basis so I don't piss her off and get sued again? Doozer Chris, what if it's the other way around? Mother wants to have a baby and father wants an abortion. Should he have a choice to walk away with no financial obligation? Good question. Very good question. My wallet, my choice. God damn it. What if I don't want the baby? We both tangoed. It takes two to tango. They both tangoed, and he doesn't want it and she does. Or maybe they neither wanted it, and then she later decides she did want it. He'd prepared for, all right, cool, she's gonna go have an abortion, I don't have to worry about it. And then she changes her mind. How much is he? Oh, I'm gonna get Miriam on here before I lose her. I'm gonna add Miriam to the stream. Miriam, are you there? Okay.
Yes, I am.
Hi, Miriam. I'm so glad to have a woman's perspective on this. What's on your
I
mind?
guess so.
Speak up a little bit.
Yeah. Um. So what's up? What's in your
Well,
mind?
we're talking about the abortion issue, and what is your opinion on this? How are you viewing Roe versus Wade being overturned?
Um. I don't have any idea.
Then why are you calling? Are you trolling me, Miriam? All right. Oh, damn it. I thought that was going to be a legitimate call from a woman, but kick that guest. I don't know who that is. Oh, well, I tried. I really wanted to have a woman's perspective on the Roe versus Wade thing. Again, regardless of if they agree or disagree with it, that's the whole point of this particular episode. Some people, I just don't get it. But well, it's all, we're almost pushing 2 hours, and I'm pretty sure I don't guess I'm gonna get a female caller, or a mother, or a woman calling. So I'm getting a little tired. So Tori,
Well, I think I'm gonna. I guess I could head out now. But it was great talking to you guys.
yeah,
Tori, good to
Jason's
meet you,
nice
Tori.
talking to you.
You have a good
Yeah,
night,
nice
Caleb.
meeting you.
All right,
Yeah, I
y'all,
wish I
y'all,
could.
y'all take care, man. Thanks so much. I'm gonna take y'all out now. I do appreciate it, though. Well, that was interesting. Miriam, I'm sorry, Caleb. Oh, it's fine. I just this is this is a serious discussion. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I joke around a lot, but this is a serious no, I don't even want to talk about it. It is getting a little late for me, and I'm sucking down way too much water. I'm gonna be up peeing all night, and my back needs to pop, and I'm just old. And I've learned if I'm doing this every single day, which I have been, finally, I've done it for 5 days in a row. I was gonna take off on this weekend, take off a couple days to start getting on a regular cycle, a 5 day week cycle, but if you want to tune in tomorrow, the last time I checked, that critic of mine is still going to come on at 8 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. And this person back in the day used to routinely go after me in the comment section. And I've been dying for years to be able to debate somebody. And this guy says he's still a fan of mine, which those are his words, not mine, but he thinks I was completely wrong with how I treated or my decision with the Parker movie. And he reached out to me, not the other way around. He reached out to me and offered to come on and tell me why he thought I was wrong. And I'm really looking forward to this tomorrow. So it is Saturday. It's going to be my 6th day in a row, but at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be on. I'd love to have people in here. Maybe I'll take some calls. I've had one person, a friend of mine actually, she said she's going to be here and she would love to, ask some questions about this fellow because she follows. We're on social media on like Facebook and stuff, and she saw where I posted his comment or his message to want to come on. So I may be bringing in some guests to ask after we talk about it, and y'all can ask him some more questions, or give him the big red weenie, whatever you feel like doing. Rebel, I see you're calling in, but I'm tired, man. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. I'm just my voice is hurting, and but I am gonna be on tomorrow. If you are enjoying this, you'll do me a gigantic favor. If you know people who do podcasts and like podcasts and listen and always looking for something to do me a favor, send it to them. I know I'm kind of new at it, but I mean, I'm not exactly new to, talking to people, as a YouTuber in general. But if you've enjoyed this, send it on and say, hey, this guy's kind of nutty, been through hell. You remember that, that Parker kid, that kid that didn't want to get out. This is the dad. He's doing a podcast now. If you don't mind, send some of my podcasts on along. And I cannot wait to talk to and see all of y'all tomorrow, because tomorrow's the big debate. I hesitate calling him a hater. I think he probably is, but maybe he's not. But tomorrow's the big debate of this, to say the very least, this critic of mine. But I'm going to get off here, and y'all please don't hit your cheerings. Bye.